Hi there, everyone. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jim, and we are
A Teague of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woohoo! Yay! It's a dreary day.
It is a dreary day. It's cold outside.
It's a little chilly. It's definitely cloudy and trying to rain, and it's no fun. And for those of you who are following the adventures of Molly, she had her first checkup today.
Yep.
Had her bandages and cast change, and she's doing well.
Yep. She got A+ on her report card, so everything's looking good at this point. So we are very happy to get that report, and she's adapted well to the cast. Mm-hmm. She's gotten to where, much to our chagrin, she's gotten where she can move around quite nicely with it on, and she's definitely getting a little restless, but that's okay. So we're becoming more relieved about everything as each day passes. So it's looking pretty good that she will make a full recovery, which will be terrific.
Yes, it will. Yeah, she's doing good.
Yeah.
All right, so tonight we have our complimentary webinar, and it's on the power of ideation.
Yes.
And I remember the first time we ever did this, it was a couple years back, the first time we did this topic. And I remember thinking, what the heck is ideation?
What is ideation? What kind of a crazy term is that?
Exactly. Yeah. And all I keep thinking of is there are people out there that will just start throwing words together.
They do. They just make up stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes they're nice made up words. They clearly describe, the concept based on the word. So when you think of ideation, that should be pretty simple.
Yeah, it's basically the power of the ideas that you can come up with, and
which everything starts with ideas.
Yes.
I mean, everything.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't realize that. I remember being in my classes in my former life as a professor and bringing that up with students, that every single thing that they see, they touch, that happens, it all starts with somebody having an idea. It all starts from your thoughts, and that was a tough one for some of them to grasp.
Yeah. And if some of you know that we work with a good friend and mentor of ours, Paul Martinelli, and he will talk about how anytime you see something, like glasses or a mouse or anything, that the idea happened twice.
Yes.
That first it was in the creator, of
the
God
ether,
or
the thinking space, as he calls it.
Yeah. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the person.
Right.
And so once they think, oh, wouldn't it be nice if we could come up with something that would allow us to make choices on a computer screen where you didn't have to use a keyboard.
Yeah.
Where instead you could just move randomly to a spot and choose to do something there. And that's what a mouse does for you. Same with everything. Anything and everything that you see, hear, touch.
Including every one of us.
Yeah. And
we all started from a thought.
We did. And so once the thought becomes the reality, it all springs from these ideas that you get. And how am I going to do that? And what is it going to look like? And so your mind can just start to get creative when it comes to the entire process.
Right.
And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight during our webinar.
That's what ideation is all about.
Yes, is
systems
ideation.
For coming up with ideas.
And why you would want to use it. because there's lots of reasons why you want to
absolutely.
use it.
Well, I'm always reminded of songwriters in Nashville. There's a lot of them, and you'll hear performers or artists, I'm not necessarily complaining about it, but when they encounter it for the first time, they find it odd until they realize, hold on a second, this is a very efficient way to do this. And that's one of the things that they do is they actually set aside designated times to write songs.
Yes.
Outside of Nashville, I know you got some others, but the most prominent people that I can remember ever hearing about, especially in the pop music field, was Benny and Bjorn with ABBA. Yeah. They used to, they lived close enough to each other. They would designate times when they were going to get together and they would, write songs. They'd come up with ideas. And, systematic songwriting, that seems so weird to most people because when we think of artistic endeavors, usually it is you have a flash of inspiration. I remember Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish talking about how, when those guys were writing songs, it was always, you get an idea, you get some inspiration, you write it down, and then eventually you'd get together and you'd figure out and turn it into a song. When he got to Nashville, because he decided to try a country career, all of a sudden, here were his songwriting partners, and they had designated dates and times, and they would show up and they would come up with ideas. And even he said he thought it was crazy at the time, but then they started cranking out all these #1 hits. And that's when he realized, oh, wow, there's something to this. They have a system for coming up with their ideas. Well, if you can do that with something like music, why can't you do it with everything else?
Exactly. And you can.
And you can.
The reality is you can.
Yeah.
And you can do it when it comes to, like you said, the music industry, the arts, theater, even in literature. It makes sense because you're always looking for a new idea. You're always looking for something different. You're always looking for something new to be able to express. That's also true in business.
Yeah.
In business, you're looking for new products. You're looking for ways to improve products. You're looking for solutions to problems that are out there. And a lot of times you don't necessarily know that's what you need to do.
Right.
But the reality is you do. Every business is out there to solve somebody else's problems. And the problem that you solve, the solution can be multifaceted. It can be more than one solution. You could have several different solutions to solve somebody else's problem. And how do you come up with those solutions? So that's one of the things that you can do is you can draw on this power of ideation to come up with solutions to problems. And we're going to talk more about that this evening during the webinar. We're going to talk about what ideation is, how you can use it, what are some ways to get things going when it comes to using ideation and just kind of having some fun with it.
Yeah. Now, when you have a system in place for coming up with ideas, does that guarantee that you're always going to have good ideas?
No. There are some really bad ideas out there.
So don't. Yeah, some of my favorite bad ideas you find at places like Big Lots.
Yes. What was it? Oatmeal crusted licorice, or
it was black licorice with oat bran in it.
There you go.
Yes. Terrible idea.
Yes.
Even though I tried the product, I loved it, but it looked terrible, and it didn't sell. That's why I was at Big Lots. It was packaged, sold for $2 a piece, and they were selling them for 10 cents each. Bad idea. I always looked at that one and thought, who in the world pitched this to this company or to their leaders? And they all went, ooh, that's a great idea, because people like black licorice and they want to be healthy. So putting oat bran in it, that's a good combo. Or the mixed juices. My favorite was orange juice with tomato juice.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It's as disgusting. It was as disgusting as it sounds. But when I gave it to your son, he didn't like it. But then I gave it to Katie, and she drank all of it. She loved it. Go figure. But yeah, but that's another one. You're going, orange juice, tomato juice.
No.
Those two things,
they don't go
they
together.
don't really go together, and I
They
don't
do
see how they're going to
not go
complement
together.
each other.
They don't.
Yeah, strawberries and bananas, okay, yeah, and so you'll have some bad ideas that can come out of that process. As a matter of fact, you most likely have more ideas that aren't very good than you will have good ideas. But that process of creating ideas, you're going to come up with the good ideas.
Yes.
So that's the thing to keep in mind. And that's why that's important, because the more ideas you have, the more likely you are to hit on something that's going to be fantastic.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the whole thing, is just getting the process going, is getting getting into that creative zone and just letting things flow. And we'll talk about some ways that you can do that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people need a little push in that direction. And we'll talk about how you can do that.
And it's amazing, because even people who aren't generally or don't think of themselves as being creative, once they get into that creative mindset, it's amazing how creative they can become. It's just a matter of you have to really let go of your preconceived notions that, I'm not very good at coming up with ideas. And once you get past that hurdle, then you'll find that maybe you are more creative than you thought. But you got to try it first.
Yeah. And it takes some time.
It does take time.
Yeah.
Even though you're lucky you got me for all the ideas. So
yeah.
Some good. Some not quite as good.
So good.
But lots of them.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is when he asks me for ideas.
Yeah. It happens from time to time. But that's because I've hit a point or something. I'm stuck on something, and then I'll let you talk for a little while, and then just like what happens with me, something will pop out, and you go, "Oh, that's it. That's it. I think that's it." Yeah. And that just comes from tapping into that creative source. Like I said, as Paul Martinelli calls it, the thinking space, which, as he points out,
is everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot more thinking space than there is space that's taken up by the stuff that's here. And so it all comes from the ether somewhere. Yeah, he's right.
It all comes to you.
Yeah, people ask me where my ideas come from. I don't know.
They just do.
They just do.
Yeah. And it can be the same for you. Yep. The other thing is you need to realize that you need to get into that zone more often for things to continue.
Yes.
And
better if you can get into that zone and stay there.
Yeah. Because then you'll recognize as the ideas come to you, you'll be able to sort them out.
Right.
And say, "Oh yeah, I need to go in this direction."
And your brain will constantly work on things. So,
and your brain will look for new ways of doing things. Because that's the other thing, is once you start to get creative, you'll start to look at things and say, how can I make this better?
Right.
How can we improve upon this? And let the brain do its thing to figure that out.
And then the way to get more creative is get around creative people.
Yes.
That's truly the best way.
That's true.
Yeah. So find those people. They're in your life somewhere.
They are. Yeah.
Find them and work with them.
Yeah.
Help them and they'll help you.
True.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So if you are interested in our webinar this evening, do you remember what time it is?
8:00.
It is 8:00 Eastern time, which is 5:00 Pacific time. You can actually go to our website and click on the events tab, and the registration link is in there, or you can find it. I know we've been pushing it out on Facebook and on LinkedIn. You can find it there. If they wanted to contact us, what would be a good way to do that?
Well, you just put it up on the screen there. They can call us on phone or send us a text message. We answer those.
Yep.
It's right there. You can go to our website,
yep.
leagueofyourown.com. You can send us an email, info@leagueofyourown.com. And then, of course, we have our social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. Did I get them all?
Yep.
I think that's it. I think I got them all.
We've got our YouTube channel, so
Yeah, I
subscribe
got the
to our
YouTube
YouTube
channel,
channel.
Yeah, we're still working on getting to the right number of
We-
subscribers.
yeah.
And so we need to push that. If you could,
Yep.
you don't have to watch. There's a lot of
We'd
videos
love-
in there. You can go
yep.
watch them if you'd like to.
But yeah, the webinar, if you go to the website, fatigueofyourown.com, click on the events tab, you'll see first one up there is the power of ideation. Go ahead, register for that. If you're busy, if you've got something else going on at that time, that's okay. We record them. Register and we will send you the recording.
Yeah.
We do that for everybody who registers for our webinars.
And they're only about 30 minutes.
Yeah, they're 30 minutes or,
it doesn't take that
less.
long. Yeah.
No, it does not take long at all. So go in there, register for that. You'll have fun. You'll learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be good. Cool.
All right. Good.
All right. For once, we actually know what we're going to talk about next week
Yeah,
because we both came up with an idea
we did.
for this week, and so we'll do the other one next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. So 5 minutes beforehand, we won't be saying what are we doing.
What are we going to talk about?
Yeah. Kind of cool. All right, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you soon. Bye.
Bye.